All right, everyone. Welcome to this weekend Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for June 8th through the 10th of 2018. All right, so this weekend, not a whole lot, not a very eventful weekend astrologically. We do have the moon in Pisces Friday and Saturday, so still great time as it was on Thursday for getting in touch with the more receptive aspects of life and of ourselves. And then as we shift into Sunday, the moon goes into active Aries. So more of that fiery energy, maybe some themes around taking action or cultivating our independence. So within this whole context, this weekend, Venus is going to be slowly shifting into Cancer. So likely a shift of our values this weekend, particularly in terms of what we're enjoying, which will likely be a little bit more on the emotional side of things, and in terms of how we're connecting to others in life, which is probably in a more caring and protective sort of way. All right, so let's look at all of this here in more detail when we return. All right, so let's go ahead and break this down one day at a time here. We're going to look at Friday first with the moon in Pisces. So Friday and Saturday, really good days here for this receptive energy of Pisces. Pisces is all about the spiritual aspects of life, you could say, but also the imaginative and creative aspects of life, letting the mind wander a bit, letting our intuition guide us, right? Getting into this more essential connection with our soul, with life, seeing how things are flowing in the universal sense outside of our control that we can sort of align with and put our energy into where the current of life is taking us. So really good for this type of development, likely some themes around this, also diving deep into the unconscious mind perhaps, listening to our dreams, psychology, again, spirituality, creativity, this type of stuff. Likely the theme, and also very good to cultivate when the moon is in Pisces. So we do have the Sun and Mercury, of course, still in Taurus. This whole cycle of Taurus suggesting that we are slowly coming to a close of the current lunar month. Going into next week, we will be entering into the balsamic phase, which is the last phase of the lunar cycle. So energies are subtly dying down, especially with Pisces. But really finishing things up in terms of Taurus, which has been this past few weeks of cultivating our inner resources, right? Our inner sense of self-value, self-worth, right? Cultivating even our natural gifts, natural abilities, getting that inner strength and stability, which has been building collectively. We've been integrating this, and it's been reflecting into our external reality as well, creating perhaps more material security. So Venus is going to be shifting into Cancer here this weekend. So right around Saturday, she officially is closer to Cancer than Gemini. So this will be a shift of our values. Venus is what we enjoy, where it was the past few weeks likely on Gemini, which has been more about learning, perhaps enjoying that, maybe communication, sharing and exchanging with others, maybe writing. That's all subtly shifting into now the more emotional aspects of what we enjoy and our connections. So really good for this type of stuff. Likely, connecting through a more protective side of ourselves, creating a protective environment for ourselves and others, caring, right? Perhaps nurturing, this type of energy, and just enjoying it, right? So enjoying a bit of maybe privacy time, home time, reflective time, this type of stuff, which is Cancer. It's all about getting in touch essentially with our soul in that internal and emotional sense. All right, so that's kind of the most important thing this weekend, actually. As you can see here, no major aspects going exact. We do have some minor lunar aspects. On Friday, we do have a square to Saturn with the moon and a sextile to Mars. Nothing major, but maybe a bit of detachment emotionally. Good for taking care of responsibilities. Anything we can do to challenge ourselves for any long-term goals could be a great way of working with this sort of combination. As we get into Saturday, the moon's still in Pisces, still great time for that receptive energy. And probably the most important aspects here is the moon will be squaring up to Venus and Pluto, so a T-square here between these two. Anything we can work on in terms of that connection, right? Maybe in those relationships, practicing reciprocity, give and take, things like that, and And diving deep would be a good way of working with the energy as well, with the square to Pluto, deep with ourselves, but then maybe also as a result of that, deeper connections with our relationships. So once we get into Sunday, we do come out of the more watery energies of Pisces and into Aries. Now, of course, we will still be ending the current lunar cycle. As you can see here, the moon will be getting close to the sun for the new moon next week. But nonetheless, maybe some themes around this independence of Aries. Themes around taking initiative, action, getting into that active side of ourselves. Really good for this type of stuff. Again, themes and good to cultivate it. All right, so that'll likely be a shift there. And on another minor front, the moon will be trining Saturn and squaring Mars. So in this case, again, good for taking care of some responsibilities, but on Sunday that could come a little bit easier. And then when it does come to taking some of that action, perhaps, or initiative, maybe challenging ourselves to do that, setting the intention to, take action, to be direct, to cultivate our needs in healthy ways with that extra conscious attention can be great. All right, so that's the weekend in a nutshell. Certainly this shift of Pisces going into Aries as we go into Sunday. First part of the weekend, definitely more on the etheric front. Really good for essentially doing a reset, however you might do that. Maybe it's rest, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's your creative side. And then Sunday going into that more active energy of Aries and independent energy, with the context of Venus shifting into Cancer, our value shifting into more of the emotional, protective, reflective energies of life. All right, so have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Thank you again for all of your likes, comments, and shares with these videos. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't yet, and I will see you all Monday for the daily forecast. Take care.